Welcome back to our next episode of Weathering Parenthood. I am sitting down today with Lindsay Moser of The Hunger Diaries, and we are chatting about her journey to conceive through IVF.
You know, we had some issues with our doctor.
Oh.
It was pretty disappointing.
It was a bit of a journey for Lindsay to conceive, traveling internationally in order to do so. And then she ended up having a planned C-section, but it happened a little earlier than expected.
And I was like, oh my God, we're having twins.
Lindsay, welcome. Thanks for being here with us today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
We so appreciate this. So I've been following you for a few years. I'm a big fan. I'm usually hungry, like post Instagram scroll for the hour, especially when like one of your videos pops up, and we're going to get into one of them in a second. But I want you to give us a little background on who you are, because there's going to be people watching and listening that don't know you. Where are you from? How did you sort of get into content creation and become The Hunger Diaries?
Yeah, so I basically grew up in South Florida. I have always been like a big eater. You know, a lot of my life has revolved around food. Mm-hmm. Travel always revolved around food. My mom's a really good cook.
Nice.
I watched the Food Network growing up, you know, so I was just always very interested in food. And,
Aren't
you
we
know, aren't we all? Exactly. It's just like always hungry.
Right.
Hence The Hunger Diaries.
It's a great name.
Yes, thank you. I went to college and studied things that I don't use now, of course.
Right.
After college, I still had no idea what I wanted to do. I waited tables, and that's around the time that Instagram was starting.
Okay.
And I had somebody else approach me about wanting to start a food blog more locally.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing.
Right.
I love food. I love, you know, all of the things. Let's do it. Mm-hmm. And, you know, some people it just doesn't like, you don't vibe with them. It doesn't end up working out. So that's kind of what happened. And I was just like, oh, I really still want to do something with this. At the time I had gone from waiting tables to doing real estate, and I really didn't like it. And I was like, you know, I just need to take a leap of faith. Mm-hmm. And at the time, my now husband and I, then boyfriend, were moving to Atlanta so he could get his MBA.
Okay.
And I'm like, I'm gonna go for it. I lied on a few resumes to become a bartender so that I could like make some money and like have like a more flexible schedule. And well, I guess real estate would have been flexible too, but I just didn't feel like getting into it there. And then I just like went for it. I was, you know, taking pictures at first, mm-hmm. and it's like very much evolved for everybody that's been in the space for that long.
Yeah.
From photos to video to like full on shows now, it seems like, and
big reels, a lot of good ASMR I find sometimes.
Yeah.
I was watching you make a sushi burrito earlier, and it was just like the sound of the spicy mayo. I was like, yes, this is what I need later today now.
I leaned into the ASMR pretty heavily before, especially when I got into YouTube and mukbang and everything, which was fun. Like years ago. And now I've sort of like gone away from that, but it is so nice still to hear like certain food sounds, like crunch and like pasta being stirred and that sort of thing. I love
like
it.
Fresh, because you home make most of your stuff.
Now I do. Yes. Yeah. I started out like featuring restaurants, and now however many years later, maybe like 10 years later, I'm just like doing at-home stuff.
Do you have a favorite dish that you've ever made? This is like a loaded question because there's a lot of stuff you've made.
Oh gosh. I mean, I love mac and cheese. I think
Simple
anybody who follows
good.
me knows that I love mac and cheese. I've made so many different types of mac and cheese. So that's always a favorite. But lately I've been all about burritos and sandwiches. And I have been making my own homemade flour tortillas that are just like the best ever. It really ruins all store-bought flour tortillas.
I make my own bread at home now, so I don't like buy any bread from the store.
Yeah, it's so much better. So yeah, I've been making my own burritos, and they are heaven on earth.
Yeah, I'm sure. So you have a son. I know you're nursing him.
Yes.
That the appetite that comes with breastfeeding is like another level, right?
Oh my gosh.
Like it's crazy.
I mean, there was pregnancy hunger, and then there's breastfeeding hunger, and they both just are like super intense.
So I guess it's a good thing that you're so good at cooking, especially like large things, because hopefully it like satisfies the craving like right then and there.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. As long as like the craving lasts long enough for me to like buy the stuff and make it. And I'm like, hopefully I still want this, but I usually do.
That's good.
Yes. And I definitely make enough of it.
So that's so funny. So let's go into now like your motherhood journey. So you started on Instagram. we're around the same age, I'm going to guess. Back in the late 2010s-ish when like it started to become a thing.
Yeah, it was like 2014, 2015.
Right. Yeah.
Something like
around
that.
That's like when it started. So like around that time, like I guess most of us millennials were the ones starting. We were all in college or I just graduated. So like motherhood hadn't become a thing yet. And now we're sort of all in that space.
Everyone is having kids, it seems like.
Right.
It's so funny.
And it makes sense because it's like, oh, this is our age. Like this is the time in our lives where we're supposed to be doing this.
Yeah.
So your journey to motherhood was maybe a little different than some others. And you shared a lot of that on your Instagram and your story of going through IVF. Can you sort of walk us through like where that started? You guys went overseas to do yours as well.
Yes.
You know, why did you make that decision? But we'll first start with kind of the beginning in terms of it's time to have a kid and we're going to do IVF.
Yeah, so we had been trying for a while. And I went to some fertility doctors. They couldn't tell me what was wrong other than when I finally did go to one and they checked like my fallopian tubes to see if they were open and like took a look inside my uterus. They found a giant fibroid, which was like the size of a grapefruit and like expanding my uterus at that point. So I'm like, well, that could be a reason that I'm not getting pregnant.
It's in the way.
Yeah, it's pretty much in the way. So I had to have that removed. That was in 2021, I think. Yeah. And then I had to wait for a period of time after getting that removed to be able to even start trying again. And then we had a tragedy in our family. My brother passed away.
I'm so sorry.
And, you know, like that can kind of throw a wrench into like sexy time.
Yeah, it does.
So we tried for a little bit longer, and when we were actually like able to get the ball rolling again, I'm like, I'm not getting any younger. You know, I'm 38 now.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to like make sure that we were going to be able to get pregnant sooner than later, and we didn't want to keep like playing around.
Right.
You know. So I mean, we interviewed a couple of people. We were living in Minneapolis at the time.
Okay.
Local, you know, places that did IVF, and we just felt like we were getting like sold on something.
Yeah.
And
you weren't vibing with the doctors.
No. And they were trying to convince us that we were never going to get pregnant naturally, even though they had never done any testing on us. And for all we knew, it was like unexplained infertility. If you were to like Google it, the longer you try, the more likely you are to get pregnant, you know, just like statistically.
Right.
But they were telling us the opposite, that the longer we tried, the less likely we were to get pregnant without really knowing any specifics about us. So we didn't like that, obviously.
Yeah.
And then the costs are just like astronomical here. And we're like, okay, so we're going to spend what? $25,000, $30,000 and like question mark have a baby at the end of it. Like that's a lot of money.
Because it doesn't always work. Sometimes people have to do multiple transfers. You don't know.
Right, exactly. You don't even know if you're going to get
enough. Multiple retrievals even.
Right, exactly. So I started researching like where else in the world do people get IVF? Like, are there really good clinics anywhere? So I saw Europe was a place that a lot of people went. I'm like, where in Europe? So I saw like Denmark, Spain, Greece, Turkey, like all places that had pretty good clinics. And there was one clinic, we saw first of all that Greece was a little bit less expensive than some of the other places. I've been to Greece and I love Greece, so I was like kind of attracted to the idea.
Food's really good too.
Oh my gosh, the food. It's some of my favorite food. So I was already attracted to the idea of going to Greece. And there was one fertility clinic, New Life IVF. Love them so much, but they kept coming up and had just amazing reviews. Like everyone had something good to say about them. It was like 4.8 out of 5, hundreds of reviews. And so we ended up having like a virtual consult with them, and it was just night and day.
You meshed well.
Yeah. And they were like our Greek aunties by the end of it.
That's
like
really
they just
sweet.
felt like family.
Yeah.
Not something that we had experienced here, obviously. And they weren't trying to like sell us on the idea of coming out there. They were just like, we are here to help you and this is what we can do for you. And the cost was just, again, so much less.
Yeah.
I think that with meds, we spent $7,500 total.
That's nothing compared to what some people will spend here in America. I have friends that had to unfortunately go through IVF as well. They have, you know, a beautiful baby at the end of it, but it's expensive.
It's so expensive. I mean, we did have to pay like travel costs.
Right.
But our HSA covered a lot of it.
That's great.
Yeah. So our HSA covered our flights and
wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And $100, it's $50 per person per day.
Okay.
That they'll cover for your hotel and for food.
That's really
combined.
nice.
So it's $100 a day, which almost completely covered our apartment.
Wow.
We were there for 1 month.
Okay.
So it wasn't, I mean, it was kind of a long time to be away,
Yeah.
but my husband like kept his same hours, so he didn't have to take time off of work.
That's great.
He just worked from like 5 p.m. to midnight.
Right. So we just sort of shifted to be on American time.
Right, exactly. And we were able to both go to the appointments in the mornings, which were usually around like 10 or 11 in the morning. And yeah, I mean, it just worked out. I mean, you know, we had to eat out every,
right.
I mean, we had a little apartment, so we had like, we could go
a small
grocery
kitchen
shopping,
or something.
and we could prepare some of our own food. Yeah. But we ended up going out mostly.
I mean, the food's delicious, so like, why not take advantage?
Yeah, exactly.
And so what was that like for you sharing a lot of that on social media? Because I mean, it's a very personal thing. It's something that a lot of people don't necessarily, at least for me, like it's not something I'm constantly seeing when I'm scrolling online. It's,
yeah.
You know, sometimes people are a little afraid or ashamed, or they don't want to tell anybody about it. What was that like for you sharing that with your followers?
I was really excited because I didn't think people really considered doing this. And, you know, I didn't know how it would work out. I posted about even doing it while we were there. So I didn't tell anybody in advance that we were doing it. And we had a really good response. People were like, wow, you're going to Greece for that? Like, I've never, you know, I've heard of medical tourism, but I've never heard of people doing IVF abroad.
I had never either.
Yeah. And so people were just more curious than anything else. You know, we had a few people that were just like, no IVF.
Right. You're gonna get those.
You
yes.
know, I'm like, I get it, but
right.
you know, this is what we're doing.
Right. You want a baby.
Right. We want a baby, and this is what we got to do. And then, of course, when we did get pregnant the first time around, people are just, they're always so happy.
Yeah.
You know, to hear that there's a group of people that I think get a little bit triggered by positive pregnancy tests because they haven't been able to get pregnant, which I totally understand.
Did that happen to you if you were scrolling on the internet ever before you ended up going to to Greece?
Yeah. I mean, not so much that I had to like stop watching those people, but yeah, it like cuts you a little bit every time.
Did you have support? I'm assuming most of your followers were kind of there saying, first of all, thank you, because it's nice to see someone sharing that. And then also, you know, I had to go through it too, and whatever, you know, words of encouragement they're giving you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that I was too open about not getting pregnant before that. I mean, I might have mentioned it a few times here and there, but I mostly like kept it about food. Yeah. To say, you know, like every so often to be like, you know, we've been trying, we're going to go to this person to see if there's anything wrong. And then I told them about the fibroid and that I was getting it removed. And like, so that was part of like the fertility journey. But yeah, I mean, I think people understood that it wasn't just them. Right. And it doesn't have to be just like 1 year for it to be, I mean, we were like 6 years in and not having a baby. So like we certainly, hopefully we were like making people feel not alone in that aspect.
Yeah, it's hard. It's scary. And I'm sure a lot of people appreciated you sharing it, even if it was, hi, by the way, we're in Greece right now. Yeah. But, you know, it's such a, you know, personal experience, and sometimes some people might be afraid. So I'm sure for them it was very nice to see, wow, she can share her, you know, her journey. I feel maybe a little less alone about what it is that's going on with me. That's the thing about motherhood. I feel like a lot of times it's like, oh, someone else is going through this too. I'm not the only one that's struggling with XYZ or not sleeping.
You can feel like you're in a bubble with a lot of it, but yeah, so many people struggle with the exact same thing. Yeah. Especially nowadays, infertility is just seems to be climbing. Yeah.
And I think that's such like a cool thing about social media too, is that like it's not just people here, you know, in South Florida and the Palm Beaches that are like, oh, I know who she is. You know, it's someone who might be, you know, in Minneapolis or on the other side of the world even that follows you, that, you know, you're able to connect with. We can kind of take this gigantic world and sort of shrink it down into like the palm of your hand. Right. And you can connect with other people, you know, with whatever struggle it is that you're going through. Yeah. So.
Agreed.
So was it in Greece, did you wait to get a positive pregnancy test and then come back? Or was what was that journey like?
We left like 2 days after the transfer.
Okay.
So I was like, can I fly? They're like, yeah, you can fly. Like, had to wear like the compression leggings on the plane or whatever. And then it was a long like 10 to 14 days after that we had to wait. And I went and I just got a blood test. I was like, I'm not bothering with any of these peeing on a stick situations. Like, I'm not, I don't need any false positives or false negatives or whatever.
Right. You want to know like right now.
Yeah, like for sure. Needed the blood test. So went in, and that morning was so funny, like that we actually got the results. I had been waiting, you know, because they're like, oh, 1 to 5 days. I'm like, 1 to 5 days? Oh my gosh. So I went
like, can't
home.
You just send it out now and like I can wait here for the results?
Like Quest Diagnostics.
Yeah,
like,
go faster.
Give me a break, Quest.
Yes.
So every like couple of hours, I was like refreshing the page, like, you know. And 2 days later, I woke up pretty early because we were still like acclimating to being back here.
Yeah.
So I was waking up at like 5 a.m. and my husband woke up at the same time. He, this might be TMI, but like he's a very regular person. He gets up, he goes.
My husband's the same way.
To the bathroom.
Why are men like this?
I don't know.
It's like not fair.
I'm like, how do I drink that Kool-Aid? But
yeah.
Anyway, so we both woke up. He gets up, goes to the bathroom. I check my phone, and it's like the results are ready. And I'm like, oh my God, the results are ready.
Yeah.
So I'm like pacing outside of the bathroom.
Like waiting for him while he's scrolling on his phone.
Oh my gosh. I don't even think that he does that. Like, I don't know what he does in there. Either way,
it's a mystery
I end up, I'm
us.
like pacing all around the house. It was a good 15 minutes that I'm just like around the island in the kitchen, like just
waiting,
trying to calm myself down. Because I'm like, what if I'm pregnant? I can't be like having a panic attack. You know, you
have to be calm and zen-like.
Right.
You are a butterfly in Mother Nature. Yeah. You try, and sometimes it's still just like so stressful.
He comes out, and I was like, "Oh my God, the results are ready!" We're actually with my parents right now, which I can get into in a few minutes. But we sat on the couch, and they had told us that your HCG level, if it were like over 100, that's good.
Yeah.
And we were like, well, what about twins? Because we had transferred 2 embryos, like good quality embryos. And they were like, well, if it's twins, it could be high, like around 400.
Okay.
And so we sat on the couch, and I opened up the results, and it said HCG 4 something.
Wow.
And I was like, you know, I immediately broke down, just crying out of happiness. And I was like, oh my God, we're having twins. You know, I'm like, this is crazy. And my parents heard me crying, and they came out, and we all started crying. Aww. And yeah, it was, and I told literally everyone. I started calling everyone I know. Like, some people wait, you know, but I'm like, everyone knew that we were doing this. I'm like, I'm telling them right now.
Good for you. You should look, if you want to tell, you should be able to tell whoever you want. And welcome back, Lindsay. We so appreciate you being here. So let's go back to your story. You open up your phone. You're like immediately thinking you're having twins because your HCG was just so high. Yeah. What was that feeling like?
I was ecstatic. I was like, I'm having twins. This is absolutely insane. And you know, after 2 days, like, I don't know, when you first got pregnant, like every single little feeling that you have, you're like, what is that? Uh-huh. So I would freak out, schedule another blood test, and I would go back in every like few days, like maybe 4 or 5 times to get my HCG levels checked again. And they were like,
well, that's usually what they'll do. They want it to double every 36 to 48 hours or whatever.
And they were like tripling, quadrupling, like they were going crazy. So that like even more so like solidified this whole idea of like, we're having twins. So I was pretty sure we were. And a month later, I went to New York. My mom and I and my godmother and her daughter, we do like a food festival every year or two together. So we did the New York City Wine and Food Festival that year. I went a little early to hang out with my buddy, and I had like some spotting, and I was like, oh my.
That's scary.
Yeah. So it was like 7 weeks. And so I forced him to come with me for an ultrasound that I was able to schedule like that day in the city.
That's great.
And they were like, yeah, you got one right there. So I like got it confirmed pretty quickly. I was like, all right, one's fine.
Right.
You know,
at least there's something in there.
Something was in there.
Right.
There was a heartbeat. I was like, okay. You don't see any other kind of sac in there. There's not like one that doesn't have a heartbeat.
Right.
And no, so it was just one. But I'm now I'm very happy.
Yeah.
It was just one.
One of my best friends had twins, like identical, just like had them. No family history of them or anything. And
oh my gosh.
it's hard. It's tough.
Yeah.
They just turned 2, but they're like the cutest little boys.
I can't imagine having 2
inside.
Two inside, 2 to feed.
It's a lot.
Double the diapers.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 babies crying and you don't understand why.
Right. It's certainly very difficult. To all the twin moms out there, you're superheroes.
Yeah.
Or any multiples. It's hard, man.
Yeah. I don't know how people do it.
How were you feeling physically through your pregnancy? Like, were you ever sick? Did you have, I was like miserable for both. Like, I do not, my body's like, what's happening? And I am puking the whole time. It's like joyous. How were you feeling when you were?
I was really nervous because obviously my job is food. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what if I can't cook?
Yeah, what if you have an aversion to something?
For months.
Yeah.
That did not happen.
Oh, lucky you. That's so great.
I had virtually no symptoms. I felt really good pregnant.
That's great.
Yeah. I had one really strange symptom that I couldn't have my forehead have like hot water on it. Like whenever I showered, I couldn't put my face in the stream.
And what would happen if that happened?
I got like an instant headache.
Oh, wow.
Just like really strong headache. And it would go away immediately, like right after the water was off my face.
Pregnancy's weird.
It was very strange. And as soon as I had the baby, it stopped.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, weird.
Yeah, I was like vomiting forever. It's awful. And then when I had number 2, I was somehow more sick. I was like, maybe the second one will be better. And like, I'll have it, the first one was so tough. Like, no, it was worse. So anyone that has like,
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Anyone that has, an easy time, I envy you. But that's great. You had no aversions either because you're in the kitchen so much.
Right. I was very worried. Yeah. I'm not counting it out for the second child.
Right.
I know like every child can be different, even if it's the same sex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I have boys, and they're always like, you're nauseous if you have girls. No, liars out there. I was like, someone's like, you're definitely having a girl. I was like, no, there's boys in there. I've confirmed it like 3 times.
Right.
But yeah, just so sick.
It's all about like how your body processes the hormones, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know. And like every pregnancy is different. So we'll see. I'm hoping the next time around is just as easy. Because I was like, man, I could just stay pregnant. And people are so nice to you.
Yeah, they do everything for you. They hold the door open and stuff.
Oh my gosh. People are like, wow, you're so beautiful. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you.
Right. So nice of you. You're glowing.
Yeah, it was lovely. And then, every time I go out with Max now, when he's so young and everything, people still are super nice. But if I'm by myself, it's all it's all over.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard like going, especially if it's your first. Like it's scary to like take that first car ride or the first breaking my microphone over here, like pushing the stroller, not just around the block, but like if you're going to, the grocery store or something.
Yeah.
It's terrifying the first time.
The first car rides, I just had my fingers on his stomach the whole time just to make sure he could breathe. I'm like, these car seats.
I know, they're so small. And you sat, I don't know about you, like I sat in the back anytime
Me too. Yeah. I was in the back, hand on his stomach, just like, he's still breathing, okay.
So I took a mommy and me class, and a trick someone taught me once was like, if you're driving, if it's just the 2 of you and you like need to somehow entertain him, get like a cat toy and like reach behind you and like.
We've got plenty of those.
Right. Like then like that way it'll, kind of like, it's like, oh, what's that? They can't do anything, but it's something for them to stare at and maybe distract them so they don't scream their head off.
I will absolutely take that tip.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt to try.
Right.
I gave it a go. It works sometimes, but I think most of the time they just want it out because I pick them up and they're like, oh, hi. I was just, purposely making you lose your mind for no reason, screaming in the car.
Right.
So, yeah.
You're like, I want you.
Right?
I want to be held now.
I know. They're so cute. There's something about a little boy. They're the best. They're the best.
Goodness. Yeah.
So your pregnancy was good up until maybe delivery-ish time.
Yeah. We had some issues with our doctor.
Oh.
It was pretty disappointing.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. We had to change doctors at the very beginning. I really liked my doctor. We were up in the Stewart area, but I really wanted to deliver it at Jupiter Medical.
Okay.
I'm a Jupiter girl. I wanted to be at Jupiter Medical. They have this brand new maternity ward with like the nice rooms. I'm like, I want to be there. And he's like, yeah, I don't have privileges there. And I'm like, okay. So I was like, we'll find another doctor. It's fine.
And how far along were you at this point?
How difficult can this be? Oh, this was at the very beginning. That wasn't actually the doctor change that I'm referring to.
Okay. Oh, there's 2?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
So we we found somebody that, you know, they had good reviews. We went in to see her, and she was super nice. And I was like, you know, what happens around the time of delivery for you? Like, do you not schedule anything? Like, we just want to make sure that you will be the one there.
Right.
You know, that we're talking to you because we want you to be the person. And she's like, oh, yeah, you know, this has happened to me before where my doctor wasn't there for me, and I just would never do that to somebody else. And we're like, great, cool. So over the course of the few months, it felt like she was being a little less personal with us. And then all of a sudden in like March, a couple months before I was due, she's like, oh, yeah, just so you know, you're going to be like one of the last people that I deliver at Jupiter Medical Center. And I was like, what an odd thing to say. Like, if I was going to be one of the, like, why is that information that I need to know?
Right. You don't care as long as she's there to deliver you.
Right, exactly. This seems like a you thing.
Right.
And then the next appointment, because I left and I was like, I'm so confused about this. You know, why would you tell me this? And so the next time I went in, she was like, oh, just so you know, I'm not able to deliver at Jupiter Medical Center anymore. So you'll have to go to Palms West.
That's
in
far
Wellington,
away.
And we're in Stewart. And I'm like, no, this is not what we agreed to.
Right.
And by the way, like when someone loses their privileges at a hospital, they don't find out that day. They find out months before.
Right.
You've known this was happening.
Right.
And so I know people that know people that know the people in the maternity ward that were like, yeah, no, she's known since like January that she wasn't going to be here. And that was tough because if you're before like 20 something weeks, then it's pretty easy to move around.
Right.
But I was like 30 something weeks, 32 weeks.
Like very much at the end.
Very much at the end. And people are very like hesitant to take pregnant patients that are like that far along.
Right.
They're like, is this a you thing? Like, why are you like just moving around to all these different doctors? Like, what's the deal? So luckily, thankful for my page because I posted about it.
Right.
And I had so many people reach out. And
That's wonderful.
One of the people that reached out, she is a nurse at Jupiter Medical Center in the maternity area in labor and delivery. And so she reached out to a doctor's office that I wanted to go and see.
Okay.
And they were like, okay, we usually don't take patients this far along, but we'll take you. And I'm like, oh my God.
Someone had to like do that. So that's really great. But I'm sure that's stressful. Like pregnancy is such a like personal thing. You want to feel comfortable with the person that's delivering you.
Yeah, it was definitely not something that we were like, I was emotionally prepared to do at that point. And, you know, we'd already toured Jupiter Medical. I'm like, I'm not going. And then, you know, I was supposed to have a scheduled C-section on the 37th week. Okay. Because they're like fully cooked at that point, apparently. And I wasn't allowed to have a natural birth because of my fibroid removal. So that surgery like cut into my uterus and like compromised the structural integrity of my uterus. And so they were like, you have to have a C-section, otherwise you could like rupture during labor.
Did that like bother you when you found that out?
You know, part of me felt like I was missing out on something, but most of me felt relieved.
Okay, that's fair. Hey.
Which afterwards I was like, you're dumb. There's nothing easy about a C-section.
No, you're getting cut open while you're awake on a table. The recovery
for a C-section, the procedure itself was really kind of like I was just shaking. I can get more into that in a minute, but sorry, what was I just?
I don't remember, but you ended up going in a little early.
Right.
You had a scheduled C-section.
Right. So a week and a half before that scheduled C-section at 37 weeks, I woke up and I was bleeding. Like not just spotting, I was bleeding. Yeah. And I'm like, we need to go to the hospital right now. And thank God we had found this other doctor, because I can't imagine if we had to drive out to Wellington.
While you're bleeding.
While I'm bleeding. And not just that, like I didn't have anything packed. I should have maybe.
That's fine.
It was only a week before we were supposed to go. But
I don't think I
packed. This is scheduled. Yeah. Like I'm not going into labor.
Right.
And so we went in and they were like, yeah, you're not leaving. And so I had to stay at the hospital and my husband had to go, and we like FaceTimed while I had all of my list of things that I was going to pack. So I was like telling him what he needed to put in my bag. My parents were to him back and forth, you know, to the hospital. And so, yeah, that would have been an hour. Over an hour.
Back and forth.
Back and forth to the Wellington Hospital
Right.
each way. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. But yeah, so thankfully we were at Jupiter Medical Center, and that they took very good care of us.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So you were about 36-ish weeks, 35 when you went in.
Yeah, he was delivered. We had the C-section at 36 weeks. So it was a week before we were.
So like a week before you were like expected to become a parent. What was that like? Just sort of.
We were worried that he was going to have to go to the NICU.
Mm-hmm.
He was 4 pounds, 15 ounces
peanut.
when he was taken out. And I had this whole grand plan about how I wanted immediate skin to skin. And they were like, he's very tiny. This room is very cold. Like, they need to like clean him off and wrap him up immediately. There's a lot of controversy surrounding like what people will do and what people won't do doctors wise at the hospital, whether it's the hospital policy or the doctors, like whatever they're comfortable with. You know, everyone wants to like create their own birth plan, especially like with C-sections.
Right.
Like, you're like, how can I make this a better experience for a C-section?
Right, because it's scary.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard people get like the clear sheet.
Oh my God, no.
Which I wanted to do. I was requesting
Wow, you're
it.
brave. My doctor was like, I was like pushing out my first, and she's like, do you want a mirror? I was like, are you insane? No.
But I don't know if I could have done a mirror, but like just I wanted to see him emerge.
Yeah.
You know, we had a whole playlist that we were allowed to play.
That's
thankfully. We had, his name is Maximus.
Okay.
So we had like Gladiator songs.
I love that. That's fun.
He literally came out to the Gladiator theme song.
What an entrance.
I know. I was like, wow.
That's so fun.
Couldn't have planned this any better. But yeah, there's the skin to skin. There's some other things that you can. Oh, the delayed
cord clamping.
I was like, can we wait until it turns white? They're like, yeah, we do 30 seconds. I'm like, okay. Well, I tried.
Can you try like for the second time around, like to request these like with your doctor, or you think they'll maybe go the same way?
I guess it's going to depend on the doctor, on the hospital, if I can make it to 37 weeks this time, you know, and if he had stopped. This is the other bit of it, is he had kind of stopped growing. He was at like the 65th percentile for a lot of the pregnancy, and then all of a sudden he was dropping, and it was like the 30-something percentile. And so had he continued to grow at the rate he was, he might have been like 6.5 pounds by the time 36 weeks came around, you know?
Right.
So if that happens the next time, like maybe they'll be like, oh, okay, he's got a little bit more fat on him. Right. He can handle this cold room a little bit longer. Right. We can keep him like, you know, the cord attached and, you know, wouldn't be so dangerous. But I think that's what they were mostly worried about, was his size.
Did he have to go to the NICU, or were you able to?
Almost.
Okay.
Almost. We were having trouble keeping his blood sugar up. So I was getting my colostrum, and he was feeding. He was latching, which was such relief.
That's great. Okay, so you're in the delivery room. He passed his blood sugar test.
This was outside of the delivery room.
Okay.
This was like in the few days after giving birth.
Okay.
He had to get, and it was so, I hated it. Every time they came in, they had to prick the bottom of his foot.
Yeah.
To take the blood sample. Yeah. And he would just cry, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't deal with that. But yeah, it was over the course of a few days that they had to come in every like few hours to do that.
But he was able to stay in the recovery room with you. He didn't have to go do NICU time, which is, I'm sure you were very relieved.
Yes.
And how was your sushi boat post delivery as well?
It was great. I was like, this is a little aggressive. I was like, you could have gotten a smaller boat.
No, I liked the bigger one. It was pretty great.
I'm like, you know, I didn't complain about it. Neither did the staff.
I'm sure they
got a lot of sushi. I brought some home. It was fantastic.
Yeah. Listen, you went through a lot, like having to go through IVF, getting cut open on a table while awake.
Yes.
Like I could never. Like,
oh my gosh, I was shaking just nonstop.
It's terrifying.
Alone in that really cold room. And the spinal tap that they give you, like, I was so nervous about that. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, am I gonna like be paralyzed because I'm like shaking while they're trying to do this? And then I was like convulsing, like when they like laid me back. I just felt so out of control. Yeah, I'm like kind of a control freak, and laying there cold, all of a sudden you can't feel.
It's the weirdest sensation.
So many things, and you're just like, what's happening? You start feeling pressure, and I'm just like, I can't, I don't.
Right.
Like, you know, It was pretty rough.
It's hard. It's scary. But so you deserve a sushi boat for
I did.
all of that.
But I will say I was not prepared at all for like the whole my body forgot how to operate.
Yeah. After?
As far as like bathroom stuff, you know, like I'm like, why did I eat all of that sushi? I can't.
The rice is binding too much for us right now.
Oh my gosh. Well, I had a really hard time. I mean, I was like, give me anything.
Yeah.
While I was in the hospital, and like afterwards, it was just, I mean, going days without is so.
The first poop is like very, very
hard.
scary.
Oh my God. It was so bad.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
I couldn't go during pregnancy, speaking of TMI, but like whatever, that's what this podcast is for. So I was like terrified that after I was going to like continue having these like horrible, terrible constipation issues, but it was fine after. But like it's, you know, there's like the first time you have to walk, maybe the first time you latch, and the first time you have to go to the bathroom are like very terrifying moments.
It was the many times for me for going to the bathroom afterwards. And I should have been taking like cutest or whatever like for weeks leading up to that. Like I should have been much more prepared. I should have been taking like Miralax or something in the hospital, drinking prune. I was making, because I was so desperate, I was mixing coffee, Miralax, prune juice.
What a cocktail.
Together.
Yes. Did it do anything?
I'm like, I think maybe it helped because I did go, but it was like, you know, and of course like the cutest on top of it, I'm like, something needs to happen because I feel like miserable. It was such a miserable couple of weeks, like trying to acclimate having a new baby at home, being up every couple of hours, and then having to do that. Plus your body is just like
healing
a cow.
Yeah,
I'm
that
just,
too.
just like feeding this person. And at that point I hadn't even had any of the other like breastfeeding hormonal things start to happen.
Yeah.
Thank God I didn't have all of that happen at the same time.
That's
because
good.
It would have just been like so aggressive.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like I remember like at 5 o'clock every day, I would just cry for no reason. My husband's like, what's wrong with you? I was like, I don't know. I'm just crying.
Yeah.
It was like sundown scaries. Like I don't know. My body just like somehow went into like terrified mode at 5 o'clock.
You're just anxious about what that night's going to be like and
how terrible
I'm
am I
already
sleepy?
tired.
Yeah. 100%. So you mentioned that you wanted to have number 2. Do you guys plan on going back to Greece for that? Likely taking the same route with the same clinic?
So we have one embryo frozen over there.
Okay.
And so I would just need to go back.
Okay. So he doesn't have to.
Right. A little bit less expensive for me to just go over and do a transfer.
Fair.
And then come back. He's kind of wanting me to be pregnant already again. I'm like, chill out.
Wait a second.
I need a minute.
Yes. Give yourself some time to heal. And
my body needs to recover.
Yeah.
I still feel postpartum because of breastfeeding. You know, I don't feel like back to myself.
I'm 10 months postpartum. I'm still nursing. I'm pumping at work.
Yeah.
You don't ever really.
Yeah.
I still feel postpartum.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of stuff that like my hair's falling out. I have the weird, like all of my little hairs, like when they dry, they look like devil horns. So it's like a really great look.
Yeah. I can't tell where, it feels like I'm just losing everywhere. I know a lot of people lose like around their temples.
Yeah, that's where mine is.
It feels like it's just thinning all over the place.
It will come back. So do not worry. It does come back. At least
Yay.
I think it comes back. So obviously, like you mentioned, you wanted to have a second. Is there something in the stage right now where you are with Max that you're like looking forward to next? How old is he? So let's start with that.
He's 4 months.
Okay, so he's probably like smiling and maybe laughing a little bit.
He is, and oh my gosh, it's so cute. Oh my gosh, he snorts when he laughs.
Oh, that's so great. Oh, I love that.
I'm just like, oh my gosh. So yeah, I love that. I'm really looking forward to all of his like experiencing firsts.
Yeah.
You know, like seeing different things for the first time. And just seeing like the expressions on his face.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking forward to him like walking and crawling and all of that too. But I think just like him like seeing like the looks on his face when he like, I don't know, when we take him to like see Mickey the first time or like the aquarium and he like sees the fish and like all of that kind of stuff.
That's great.
I'm excited for that.
I do feel like you kind of re-experience a childhood.
Exactly.
Like, and seeing things through their eyes
Right.
is like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
So I think you'll enjoy that. I'm personally very excited for him to eat your food. I would love to see what he
I hope he likes it. I told my husband, I'm like, I'm going to force feed you the things that you don't like, because this baby is not going to be like, oh, well, daddy's not eating it.
Right. No.
So I'm not going to eat it.
We're not
either.
having a picky eater around here.
Right.
This isn't the household for that.
I know. Oh my gosh. I feel like I've done so much research and watched so many videos about all of these things about eating.
Yeah, it's an overload of information.
Dr. Becky, I don't know if you
watch I know
Dr. Becky.
Yeah.
I love Dr. Becky.
There's a lot. A lot of it's like very overwhelming. Do what feels right to you, because you're his mom, and you know more than your thousands of followers.
It feels right to me to say, like, this is what we're eating for dinner,
right? And
this is when we're eating, and you can choose how much you want to
eat. Exactly, and that's the way to do it. So when I was nursing my first, I was so ravenously hungry, but like he wouldn't not. Like he just wanted to latch all day. So I made brownies like sort of one-handed while he was eating. Have you done anything like while you were nursing him, also attempting to cook at the same time? Like what's the most complicated thing you've tried to do?
Attempting to cook? I mean, I've filmed with him, wearing him. It was nice because, you know, you get both of your hands then.
It's always great.
I've done a lot just holding him with one arm, mixing, but it's pretty tough.
Yeah,
like
it's
I usually have to get help when I'm trying to, but it's usually just like a breakfast for myself, you know, in the morning, like when I'm just like, oh my God, I need to eat right now.
Yeah.
Nothing so ambitious as brownies.
It was like pouring in the batter, like mixing with one hand, but like he was like young. He was kind of sort of small enough. I think I like rested something like on his head maybe. I don't know, but I was like
maybe make like yogurt.
Right.
And
like
granola or something.
Yeah. If I don't eat something now, I will bite someone else's head off.
Right.
Because that's how ravenous you get when you're nursing. I feel you on that. So I like to end each interview with something called your sun and your storm. So I don't know if you've ever heard like the rose and thorn type of thing. So from your week, I'll go first so you can like think about it. What was something rather than a rose and a thorn, because I'm a meteorologist, your sun, your good thing that happened that week, something that was like wonderful, or your storm, your struggle with motherhood, you know, that happened in your household.
Yes.
So I'll start with my storm. Both kids sick at the same time, not like terrible, but like snotty nose, cough, sneezing. One sneezes and like snot, it's gross, and then the other one's like happy with like boogers just dripping all over. It's like disgusting. It's so wonderful, but it's a little gross. So I guess that would be like when they're both sick at the same time, and it's like you can't comfort them both enough.
Yeah.
And then I guess our sunshine for the week, my little one he's 10 months. He's finally consistently now sleeping through the night, and there's a small chance this was the same son I said last week. But like I didn't birth sleepers. So like the fact that he's now finally sleeping through the night, and like I'm too lazy to sleep train. Like I just don't have like the wherewithal to do that.
Yeah.
So that would be my positive for the week. He's finally not waking up at
the
2 and 3 and 4.
And I have to say that's also my sunshine or whatever.
That's great.
Yeah. He was doing great. He had some 7-hour stretches, and then all of a sudden he reverted.
Yeah.
And it was like every hour and a half. He was waking up at night, and we were both like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And just this past like 3 or 4 days, he slept like 6 straight hours.
That's wonderful.
7 straight hours. Last night it was like 3 and then 4, but I'm like, this is great.
It's better than one.
I will take it, you know. And honestly, I've got to wake up within 6 hours anyways, because my boobs wake me up.
Yeah.
They're so hard. I'm like, I need to pump, or you need to eat. One of those two things has to happen.
So you're going to wake up anyway.
So if he needs to wake up at 1 and 5, I'm like, I'm good with that. You know,
it's fine.
So that's been the great thing.
That's great.
The bad thing for me, the storm, is I have been getting like eczema because of like the hormones and stuff. So like right now, like I've got like my eyes burn, and like I've been getting it like on my neck and around my eyes, and like it seems to like go back and forth, but right now it's just like starting to come back on my neck, and I still have it on my eyes. So that's sort of frustrating because I have to stop going to the gym, which
I'm sure sweat doesn't help.
No. Warm, sweaty, salty sweat, like no. It's actually the worst for it.
I broke out really bad postpartum the first time, like all over my chest. So everything is always like, oh, it's just the hormones.
Yeah, it's like, just the hormones. Isn't there something I can like eat or something.
Anything
to even that out.
Right.
No.
They say putting milk is like the cure all for anything skin
That's what
related.
I've been doing.
So
I've just like sometimes literally milk myself. Like if I didn't have like readily available milk, I was just like milking myself and like rubbing it all over my neck and my eyes and putting some tallow on for some moisturizing.
Perfect. It's the new skincare of 2025.
It is surprisingly effective. I mean, maybe not surprisingly, but it's very effective.
It's very moisturizing, I will say. Well, Lindsay, thank you so much. This has been so great. We appreciate you sharing your story with us, and we wish you luck on with your new little baby, and hopefully number 2 when you're ready.
Yes.
Not,
Thank you so much for having me. It's been great to be here and chat about all of this.
Love it. We appreciate it. That was a wonderful interview with Lindsay, and not gonna lie, I was fangirling hardcore the entire time. Her videos of the food that she posts are always amazing, and I love now that she's sharing her motherhood journey, not just, the struggle she had with conceiving, but her little boy Max, and he's just the cutest thing. I always think it's important and very cool when people are able to share some of their struggles so that those that are following them don't feel so alone.